1. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Marty Richards here with Richland Center Tourism, and a really special episode tonight. It's kind of a why do we call it that, but we're also blending in a big activity that we've really celebrated for quite a few years here in Richland Center and the greater Richland Center area, and that is the Rotary Club's lights, drive-through Christmas lights here at, and we still call this Krouskup Park, right?
Correct.
It's still Krouskup Park. So tonight I'm joined with Kieth Behling, and Keith, your title, I always have to assign titles to people, and it sounds to me like your title is kind of like the czar along with Richard Waslick, right? We got to give him full credit probably.
Well, I don't know if I'd use the word czar. we'll just go with
groundskeeper. Okay, there we go. So Rich and Keith are really kind of the masterminds behind the lights show here at Krouskup Park. So a couple of questions always comes to my mind. Number one, can you kind of give us how many years you've been doing this, or the Rotary Club's been doing this, a little bit of the history of that?
Okay, this is our 9th year, and the way it happened to get started, Dottie and I have a son and his family live in Winona, Minnesota. Richard Newman and his wife Jan have family in La Crosse. And it turns out that as we would travel to visit family, we would see holiday lighting in every community between here and La Crosse. And back in 2011, you go through on Highway 14, the first thing that you saw was a snowman on top of the Richland Square. That was it.
Yep.
You come in on Highway 80 or Court Street downtown, you had the snowflakes and those decorations down there, but you were traveling through in 14, there was nothing. Well, it turns out, Dottie and I said, we should be doing something about that. Dick and Jan said, we should be doing something like that in these other communities. And Jan mentioned Dick, call Keith. He's in Rotary. And I said, Dick, tell you what, you put together some ideas, come to the club, do a presentation, and see where it goes from there. And the members authorized the go-ahead. And the initial thought was in the half block where old M&A Recycling was.
Oh, sure, down Orange Street. Yep.
Just a half block there. You could drive through on one side of the block and out on the other, be real small.
Yep.
Well, then Dale Bender, Dick got him involved, and the old lights, the pole mounts that are tree-shaped, and the candles that people would see down on Orange Street, Dick Bender knew where they were because the electric utility puts that stuff up.
Yeah.
And so then, we should have something more than a little bit up here at the park, which came about because of Aaron and Kathy Troxel. They were new members in the club, and they got to looking things. Oh, it's half a block down there. That's nothing. We got to go to the park. Here we are.
Sure. Awesome.
9 years later, and Rotary. One of the first things they did is refurbish those pole mount decorations for down there on Orange Street, and went to all LED. And that was one of the stipulations we made for this, that everything's got to be LED.
Okay.
And we learned early on that that became a nice marketing tool for the electric utility.
You bet.
Because of the low electric demand. That first year, electric bill was metered here, $43.
Oh, wow.
and that ran for a month.
Yep.
So pretty amazing.
Very good. That's a great history and kind of catching us up to where we're at today. So it started with really the Rotary putting lights together, and now it's kind of expanded to where a lot of community businesses, partnerships, people, and honorariums, where they put trees together. Is that correct?
Yeah, the whole piece which we're relating to is what we call our sponsors, sponsorships. And fortunately, Heartland Christmas Trees donates all of these 7-foot live trees that they cut and deliver to us. And then we have a tree for sponsors as they contribute to the project here. And this year we're at 153 sponsored trees.
Wow.
And we started out that first year with about 80.
Okay. So there's been a nice growth.
And that came from Schaller Christmas Tree Farm at that time.
Okay.
And when their supply kind of ran out, then Mick Cosgrove came to us via Dale Bender and said, hey, I'd like to help out.
We can help you with
that. Here we are today with a huge contribution by Heartland Christmas Trees.
You bet. Now, I know when we were talking, just kind of preparing, I made the comment, I said, I've been around the state a little bit, and I've seen some other cities' light displays, and that Richland, the greater Richland Center area, or Richland Center's lights, definitely are better than many, even bigger cities. Now, you'd just gotten a note earlier today from somebody that was here previous that made a comment like that. Is that right?
Yes, and if you don't mind, I'll read
Go
that.
right ahead.
Hopefully I can see it in Terry's bright light over there.
There you go.
Just wonderful. We paid to see Christmas lights at Racine Zoo, and your setup is so much better for free.
Yeah, for free.
For free.
That's
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
So that brings up a great point. So for folks that come to watch and see the lights and hear the music, it's drive-through this year. And you do ask, if people come to see the lights, that they would either bring a non-perishable item for the food pantry, or if they could, to give a cash donation. Can you tell us a little bit about what that goes towards then?
Yes, the food goes to our local Richland Community Food Pantry, and from year one, we've always had them as a benefactor.
Okay.
And that's worked out very well. And we actually count the number of items, and I didn't bring the stats from the whole previous 8 years, but
Sure.
the first week this year, it's really bumped up very, very well. It's been very, very good for past records. And then any of the monetary donations that come in, the committee decides on what percentage of that we want to give to the community food pantry, and then we keep some back to reinvest in the show, because it takes new displays to keep it fresh and keep it interesting, and it takes quite a bit to maintain what we do have.
Repair items.
Repair,
yeah.
yes, and that's an ongoing thing.
Yeah, I see that.
Electricity, and things happen.
So,
and then any project things that we have going throughout the year can be partially funded with funds that come from here.
yeah, and just a real quick commercial for the Rotary Club. You actually have a Rotary Foundation, is that correct?
That is correct. The
Okay.
Rotary Foundation of Richland County. And the actual club name that operates under is the Rotary Club of Richland County.
Okay, so very nice. It's a Richland Center area, so it's the county-wide service, just like the food pantry is as well. A lot of volunteers, a lot of people involved. Do you have any idea the number of people that helped to set all this up?
No, well, to set it up, we have 9 men that are really instrumental in being a part of it with Dick and myself.
Okay.
And then we get a few others that can give a partial day and that type of thing along the way. Extremely beneficial to us.
Yep.
We started on last Wednesday of October, and then on Southwest Tech, their power distribution curriculum students were here on that Thursday and Friday. 22 one day, 20 on the other day. We had the lift buckets out here donated to us by Simpsons, and then the Southwest Tech, they have buckets, and the electric utility here.
Neat.
And so it took 2 days to get all those deciduous trees lit.
Yeah.
And then throughout, from there on, it's just bringing in the things, getting steel posts driven, and for those 153 sponsor trees, those are all held by a steel post.
Okay.
Well, we learned that going this way was a lot of work, and we're out of shape when it comes to doing that. Dave Fry, I tell you, he's a big help here, superintendent for the park department. He said, I think we could help with that. They bring over that Bobcat tool cat. We hold the post.
Yep.
Pat Bauer takes and puts the bucket down, presses the post in the ground. Last year they did all of those posts in about 50 minutes.
Neat.
So
that's a big savings.
Oh, that's a big help. And then they pull them out, when they're frozen.
Well, awesome. That really is a nice, backstage look at a lot of what happens here. So if folks are interested in coming, it's 6 to 9 o'clock in the evenings.
Correct.
The days?
It's every day.
Every
all
day.
the way through New Year's Eve, and the only time that we cancel and we get really bad weather.
Okay.
And that can be from a blizzard, or it could be extremely sub-zero wind and that kind of thing, and we just don't want to jeopardize people's health with bad weather, or even driving bad roads.
Right.
So take a look at Facebook, listen to WRCO. When we do shut down, if the bad weather comes, we try and call surrounding radio stations and ask them to make the announcement.
You bet. So it's a really popular item. You can't see it, but we've got a line of cars that lined up prior to 6 o'clock, and I cannot see the end of the line from here, so it's a real popular attraction. And really this year it is. It's a great item, something you can do. It is drive-through only. no walk-through opportunity, so 6 to 9 o'clock each night from now until New Year's Eve. Thank you so much for your time, Keith. Really appreciate all the effort you and all the volunteers put in.
Well, we appreciate the opportunity to speak with you and be a part of Richland County, Richland Center tourism.
You bet. Thank you.
We know it's got an impact.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So we really encourage folks, you come bring a non-perishable item for the area food pantry, or cash donation is suggested. Again, ranks right up there, and it really does. It ranks right up there with some of the best in some of those more urban, bigger cities. Really an impressive light display. We just encourage you come, enjoy the lights, and help with giving to help the community. Again, thank you for joining us. I'm Marty Richards and Kieth Behling joining me tonight with Richland Center Tourism. Have a great evening.